Well, good afternoon, Walleye Wisdom Watchers. This is Gary Speicher reporting from the NPAA Conference up in Bloomington, Minnesota. And late this afternoon, we broke to go to different meetings that are going on in other rooms here at the hotel, and I grabbed my good friend Jim Kalkofen to talk a little bit about his work with NPAA. And Jim, anything else that's going on in your busy life these days?
Well, you know, there is no such thing as retirement. So
retirement? What's that? What's that?
Well, that's when you're supposed to go fishing like every day, I think.
Oh, and take the grandkids.
Yeah, so just take a memo on what that's all about.
Okay, I'm going to take a memo.
But about 2.5 years ago, I became retired. It was just like that. And that lasted, I got home, told my wife, well, that job that I had, it's no longer there.
Yeah.
She says, oh. She said, what are you going to do now? I said, I'm going smallmouth fishing. So that's exactly what I did.
Is that what you've been doing for 2.5 years?
Pretty much.
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much.
Okay.
No, I've been, and it was good timing for me to take a break from the promotions and the fishing business and the TV and the writing and 18 years of running the professional walleye trail, being on the road much of the year, 50% of the time.
Yep.
That was well. Needless to say, in 18 years, I got to do one wedding anniversary with my wife.
Oh, my goodness. And I spent a number of those years following you around at the PWT, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
You did, and it was so much fun, met so many people, and actually in the last couple of years, I've been traveling around the country myself, mainly to visit with a lot of people that I met on the PWT, fishing with them, doing a little hunting with them, and just having a ball, getting to know them. And a lot of those people are saying, hey, all these years we're out we're down in Missouri fishing, and we're over in New York fishing, and out in South Dakota fishing, and you kept telling us about all this pretty good fishing around Brainerd.
Oh, Brainerd.
And
it's in Minnesota, right?
and strange enough, a lot of these people they'll call up and they'll say, well, I'm going to be going through town in a couple weeks.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, well, I know what they're looking for.
And anyway, I've been taking a lot of people fishing, and all the time I was in Brainerd, I had this idea that I should be fishing all these rivers around town. And I would, you could never get any information like from Stangy, who was out there filming.
Sure.
But I got to know the TV crew guys real well.
Ah.
And I'd say, I said, where were you guys today? Oh, we were down in the Mississippi.
Oh.
I said, where'd you put in? Oh. I said, now how do you do? And I look at the video, I say, I'm going fishing there. So I got to know all these great spots, and for a while it was, where was Al Linder catching his big bass? Well, I'd talk to the guys, I'd find out what lake they were on, I'd look at the video and say, I'm going there. And now I've had time to do that. Last year I fished 24 different days, a lot more than that, but 24 different days just on floating down rivers. Never saw another boat. That's the importance of that.
My goodness.
Caught. In fact, some of the fishing trips are so good, a couple of my friends have made plans to come to Brainerd and rent cabins for a month with their families so they can go fishing. I'll tell you what, we went down one river, we spent exactly 3 hours on the water. And when you fish these rivers, you have to have a small boat. It's not like a big Ranger, a big Lund like my 2025. I have a 14-foot boat, little trolling motor in the bow, mounted on, it's mounted on something like this. So it's just a transom mount on the bow, 15 horse on the back, short shaft, so I can get up and down these rivers. Number one, nobody else can fish there because they can't get a boat in. And you and I could pick that boat up, Gary, and carry it 50 yards if we had to and dump it in.
Well, there's a tip, folks, for river fishing. You heard it from J.K.
And I'll tell you this. Most people won't make the effort. It's a lot of work. I mean, you need a duck-billed push-pull like you do in your duck hunting. So I've got one of those, and you wear shorts and wading shoes, and you're in and out of the boat all the time because there's a lot of times when you don't want to drift through there, you want to stop and fish. We're fishing a lot of surface baits for smallmouth. But on this one trip, in 3 hours, we caught over 30 smallmouth. Caught them. We had a lot more bust up and blow and lost. But I had a big fish on, and my buddy throws out his bait, and he knew it was going to take me a while to get this fish in. And he says, oh, I got one. Oh, I got a real big one. And I said, and he brings it and he says, "Look at that, JK. There's 2 bass on his little 3-inch surface bait.
Oh.
And I've got a 19 3/4 inch bass on mine. And I can't do anything with mine to help him so I can take a picture of his bait with 2 fish on it."
Oh, my gosh.
And we would see, a lot of bass are on there. But the nice thing about it, it's wilderness fishing close to home.
Yes.
And so it's economical.
Yes.
And we're catching, when we want to, we fish walleyes, and we catch those. But what's great is on baits that long, folks, as big as my thumb.
Ooh.
We're catching muskies. 2 biggest muskies in the last 3 years have been 52 inches each.
Oh my
And
goodness.
you know people who will spend thousands of dollars to go to Canada to catch a fish 45 inches. One day 2 summers ago, my son and I, he caught a 45 incher, a 47 incher, and a 38 incher, lost a couple others. I caught a 52 incher, lost one other one, and that's all on either 8 or 14 pound test line, depending on the rods we're using, and you really get a good workout. So muskie fishing in the rivers throughout north central and northern Minnesota is about as good a fishing as you're going to get anywhere. It's sort of like, and the difference is the size is so gigantic compared to like you're fishing the Wisconsin River up Rhinelander north up through there.
Yes.
You'll catch a lot of muskies, but they won't be in that 40-inch class. They'll be in the 30-inch class. And there's tremendous fishing in these places because nobody else fishes there.
Well, hey,
So you asked what I was doing,
Yeah.
I'm fishing.
Yeah, and I appreciate that report. Now I know, and I want to wrap up because I know people are probably going to watch their next YouTube video, but tell me what you've been doing for the NPAA.
Okay, for the NPAA, I've been serving in sort of an advisory capacity. I've been writing a lot of the news releases on the sponsors and the activities and helping Pat out with the writing part of it.
Yes.
And I've been doing a lot of work with new members and young people to get into the sport and encouraging them. I run a tournament circuit up in Brainerd here in conjunction with, you can hardly see it on video, but Al Lindner. Some guys might recognize that name.
That
Gary.
name they might recognize.
Even more important than yours.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, probably a lot.
Yeah. And Steve Banaz from North American Fishing Group.
Oh, sure.
And Al has a passion for Minnesota Teen Challenge. We've got a center right in our hometown of Brainerd. And Minnesota Teen Challenge is for young guys who are addicted to alcohol and drugs. And it's a way to wean them off, get them back into society and back to their families. So the reason I'm talking about Teen Challenge is because we run the Minnesota Fishing Challenge, Al and I do, and Steve now this year, to earn money for Teen Challenge. So it's just a way for us to give back. You know,
What a wonderful thing.
I have to think, what was it? Winston Churchill said, you make a living by what you get, and you make a life by what you give.
Exactly.
So I'm giving.
You are giving.
And it's a lot of fun. We have people from all over fishing it. It's economical to get in. mntc.org/fishing challenge, and people can get the information. They can call you. You can tell them to call me. We can get it taken care of. But we'd like to see some teams from Iowa fishing this year. June 4th.
June 4th. Okay, folks, June 4th, 2011. You heard it from Jim, and we'll make sure we have that information on Walleye Wisdom, and you'll be able to learn more about it through Jim's. What was the website again?
It's MNTC.
MNTC.
Which is like Minnesota Teen Challenge.
Right.
MNTC.org/fishing challenge.
Okay, folks. Hey, thank you for a great interview, JK, and taking some extra time with us here at the NPAA meeting up in Minnesota. It's cold outside, but it's warm in here, folks.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you, Jim.
Good.